Sydney. This passenger has come to the attention of officers as they have noticed him lurking behind the primary line. The man is acting very strangely and appears to be trying to avoid showing himself for identification.
Our officers noticed he was acting a little bit nervous when he arrived into the entry control point. He didn't proceed straight up to a customs officer with his passport. He sort of hung around the back of the hall. He appeared to be stalling.
After finally presenting himself to officers, it is established that he is a Malaysian citizen and has flown in from Dubai on a tourist visa. He claims to be here on a short 5-day holiday. However, officers suspect that he's not telling them the truth and decide to take him aside for further questioning.
We questioned him a little bit further about what his plans were, what he wanted to see, what he wanted to do. He could not really tell us much about Sydney, apart from he just wanted to walk around and have a look. So again, that's raised the officers' concerns about him being a genuine traveller to Australia.
During the interview, officers perform a baggage inspection, and this causes further concern about his reason for travel.
Basically, he's come with no clothing. He's got 4.5 kilos of chocolate and alcohol. It is quite unusual for a holidaymaker to bring such a large amount of chocolates, considering he doesn't know anybody in Australia, he's got no contacts here, so he's not bringing any gifts for any friends or family that he knows here.
What's more worrying is the foul odour wafting from the man's direction.
From the moment we spoke to him, we could smell that something wasn't right. It looks like he was a little bit frightened.
We've noted that there is a particular smell which is consistent with fecal matter.
Border Force officers are interviewing this French traveller who has just landed. They are concerned she may have plans to work, which would be a breach of the conditions of her tourist visa.
Okay, how long are you planning to stay in Australia?
I don't know really the time.
So you're not aware of how long you wish to stay in Australia?
Depend of my budget.
So tell me a little bit about what you're here for. Do you have any intended activities whilst you're in Australia?
I really want to improve my English, so just spend time with English people or travelers and speak English again and again.
Have you been in any contact with anybody in Australia?
When?
Prior to coming to Australia, have you been in touch with anybody?
No.
Okay, so nobody knows that you are coming to Australia?
No.
Do you know anybody in Australia?
No.
The woman is acting coy about having contacts in Australia, so officers check her phone for information, and suspicions are immediately raised by what they find.
What my main concern is that she's denying that she's got anybody that's here to meet her, nor is she planning to see anybody while she's in the country. Right. Now, that contrasts with some of the text messages that we've found on her mobile phone, which I'm still yet to put to her. But to me, it appears that she's been quite hesitant to disclose what her true intentions are for what she's here to do while she's in the country.
She's pulling the bag
In
now.
Sydney, biosecurity officers suspect that this couple, travelling with their 2 young children, have items in one of their bags that should have been declared.
Yep.
There's nothing to declare on their card. However, they have a whole bag of organic material, so we'll have a look in there.
Officer Brian now gives them a final opportunity to declare any food.
Yeah. Did you both understand the questions?
Oh, yeah.
The couple insist that they have completed their card correctly and make no declaration.
All right, I'm going to have a look in the bag.
It doesn't take long to find the undeclared food, but what's living inside the fruit now raises the concern for biosecurity officers.
Okay, what we've got is we've got some peaches, nectarines. This one here, there's a hole in the side and something's been eating it. This is a serious issue because there could be a caterpillar or an insect in there eating it, and we just don't know from looking at it.
Obviously, the couple are unaware that infested fruit carries pests and diseases which are a dangerous threat to Australia's agricultural industry.
Sorry, I don't know.
Do you have anything else?
No.
Did anybody else put anything in this bag?
Sorry, I don't know.
You don't know?
But Officer Brian now finds something which will prove that they did know all along.
Okay, what's this?
Sorry, I don't know.
This family, they had another card that was in their language. They could read it, they could understand it, and yet they filled out the declaration in English. So it just doesn't add up. This tells me that you knew what that said.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
You can't just change your mind.
Border Force officers are concerned by an unusual odour which has been detected coming from this passenger.
We've noted that there is a particular smell which is consistent with fecal matter.
The source of the foul stench is yet to be identified, and officers have the unpleasant task of determining what the man is hiding and where. They start by taking a closer look at the items in his possession.
Stink! Quite a strong smell.
And the nasty situation becomes increasingly serious for the passenger, as mixed in with his chocolate box are a number of large yellow pellets. Experienced officers recognise these pellets as similar to those used by drug couriers to carry narcotics internally.
It looks like the pellets that people usually swallow. Even though they're relatively large, people have been known to swallow 90, up to 90 sometimes. So now that we know what's in this, we'll close this one up, put it aside, we'll get the other ones out one by one.
Further inspection reveals that all 4 of the chocolate tins contain the same yellow pellets. And it doesn't end there, as officers now open a package that the passenger claims is duty-free alcohol.
There is a box of Johnny Walker full of pellets.
It's possible that he had them all inside of him solely because of the smell. So that's why we thought that he soiled himself. It was what was in the boxes that we were smelling.
Officers confront the man with the discovery.
The passenger still made no omissions as to what could be contained inside the pellet, and he's not offering us a lot of information at this stage.
With the passenger claiming to have no knowledge of the items found, officers will now carry out testing on the contents of the pallets. And if they find illicit substances, this man's life will take a serious turn for the worse. In Sydney, this family arriving from China have been found travelling with a bag of infested peaches.
You've said no fruit. It says it right there, no fruit. And you've got fruit.
Now Officer Brian enlists another passenger to translate and help explain the seriousness of the couple's failure to declare.
And I want to know why, considering they had the card in their language, did they then give me the wrong answer in English?
Because she said the kids forgot to take out the peach.
A surprising backflip in their explanation, and the couple now blame their children for the hidden peaches.
All of a sudden it's, oh no, it was the kids. The kids didn't get rid of it for us. The kids are minors. Once they're over the age of 18, then they can be held responsible. Until then, it's the parents' responsibility.
Sorry, I don't know.
The couple refuse to take responsibility for the false declaration, but their passports reveal they've been to Australia many times before.
That just tells me you have no excuse. You should know better. I'm getting the feeling from them, they've been through here before, they're looking for a quick way through, and so they've simply ticked no to everything, and now that they've been caught out, now they're blaming it on the kids.
She said if it's okay to hurry up, because she's in a hurry to catch the flight.
Yeah, but it'll take time because I've got to print the document, we have to go make the payment. It doesn't happen instantly. Explain it to
The
her.
couple are now upset, but fail to realise that they've caused their own delay by failing to declare.
If they want to get through here quickly, they need to abide by the law.
And despite the kids being very young, the mother insists on blaming them.
就你要吃吃吃吃吃，好了吧？
Have a chat to
Border
her.
Force officers have found evidence that this woman may be intending to break the conditions of her tourist visa by working in Australia.
Listen, I'm going to be upfront with you. I've got some concerns about your travel to Australia. So can I ask you, do you be looking at any jobs here in Australia?
No, because I know I can't with my tourist visa.
This is an emails that were found on your mobile phone. And the information on it clearly depicts that you may be here for other reasons other than tourism purposes.
Yeah.
Have you made contact with anybody about intended activities whilst you're in Australia?
Yeah, maybe doing some woofing.
The unusual term woofing refers to willing workers on organic farms, which is a specific type of volunteer work that is allowed on a tourist visa.
So who is this person that you've been emailing?
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth?
To be a valid woofer, travellers must agree to do 4 to 6 hours of gardening or farming work in exchange for a day's food and accommodation.
What's your understanding of woofing?
To spend time with family and get free accommodation and free food, but for that you need to work for them.
Okay, and what type of work would you be doing for them?
Maybe take care of kids.
Okay, because what my concern is that the activities that are listed on these emails are not necessarily activities which would constitute woofing in Australia. Go bike riding, walk the dog, or walk on beach, skateboarding, play games. These types of activities are indicative of what someone who is doing nanny or au pair work would be doing.
Yeah.
Are you aware of that?
Au pair, yeah, it's like an au pair, yeah.
So will you receive accommodation in return?
Accommodation, yeah.
Are you also...
And food.
And food.
Like you.
Okay, I'm just going to step out and have a chat to my colleagues and I'll be back with you.
It is possible that this French nanny has misunderstood the rules regarding work while travelling on a tourist visa.
I think Celine may have the wrong interpretation of what woofing is. A lot of people think woofing is just working for free, but they don't understand that it needs to be on a particular farm that meets the requirements of woofing.
It's a serious misinterpretation and could leave Celine taking the next flight home.
Our fear is she is intending to come out to Australia not to be a woofer, learning the operations of an organic farm, but to work which is in breach of her visa condition.
Celine is now given the opportunity to plead her case and convince officers that she should be allowed to enter the country.
Is there anything you'd like to say, anything you'd like to provide, any reasons? Yeah?
If you still trust in me, I will be ready to forget this plan to doing au pair and just staying in woofing place. Like it's the main thing for me to speak English very well when I live. That's why I was planned to doing that. So, voilà.
Okay.
I understood that au pair it's not, it didn't work with my visa.
It's obvious that Celine hasn't done her homework before visiting Australia, and she's not here to woof. So Officer Phil must now decide if she can cross the border as a genuine tourist.
Okay, after weighing up all the information available to me and in consideration with your response, I was satisfied that there are grounds for cancelling your visa. That means that your visa has been cancelled today. As your visa has been cancelled, okay, you have been refused immigration clearance into Australia.
Okay.
Okay? Now, this also means that you may be detained and removed from Australia as an unlawful non-citizen under Section 189 of the Migration Act 1958.
I have to leave.
Yeah, okay, which means that we will need to make the arrangements for you to travel to a destination where you will be permitted entry. It was quite clear she had an intention to arrive in Australia to conduct au pair, or also known as nanny work. And it takes away potential employment opportunities to those who are actually entitled to it.
Items found in the possession of this Malaysian traveller have Border Force officers on high alert.
During the baggage examination, we've located 4 chocolate boxes, and we've found there to be a mix of some chocolates and some pellets which appear to contain a yellowy white substance inside them.
2 types of presumptive testing are carried out on the pellets to check for illicit substances.
The final colour will be pink and blue if it's cocaine.
Both of the technologies that we've used so far have come up positive for cocaine.
Officers know that this type of pellet is usually carried internally by drug smugglers, which may explain the vile smell coming from the chocolate boxes.
He's possibly gotten them out of his body sooner than he was intending to. They've definitely been inside of somebody. From the smell, we can tell that.
And officers now want to know whether all the pellets are accounted for.
We've got some concerns that he still may have some inside his body. So what we're going to do today, we're going to take him for a non-medical internal body scan.
He's not in a good place. He knows that he's in a lot of trouble, and now he's just going to have to find out exactly how much trouble he is in.
The test will not only determine if he is hiding more pellets, but could also save his life.
If one of those pellets were to burst, it could possibly kill him from a drug overdose.
This couple have failed to accept responsibility for the load of infested fruit found in their bag, but they can only blame themselves for the time it's now costing them.
She wants to know what happens to the 12 o'clock flight.
That's her responsibility.
She just wanted to be quickly done.
It would have been a lot quicker for her to simply say she had fruit. She'd have been out the door. We wouldn't be having this conversation. It would have been destroyed. I wouldn't have to go and write up a document.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to explain it to her.
I know. Explain it to her.
The peaches are now confiscated and will be destroyed. The couple receive a $360 fine for failing to declare.
Okay. We have to go down to make the payment.
And once the fine is paid, they can continue on with their travel. A Malaysian man has been caught attempting to smuggle a large quantity of drugs into the country.
In total, we've found 245 pellets with a total weight of just under 5 kilos of cocaine had been brought into the country by this individual.
And officers have strong concerns that there may still be more in his body.
If one of those pellets were to burst, it could possibly kill him from a drug overdose.
So, as a matter of urgency, officers need to determine if he has anything further hidden inside him.
We've sent the gentleman in for a non-medical body scan, which looks for anything that may be inside of his body.
It basically takes a photograph of inside or an X-ray of inside a person's abdomen.
We've received the results back and we had a negative result.
While clear of having any more pellets inside of him, the man is now handed over to the Australian Federal Police for further investigation into the large quantity of drugs he has brought into the country.
Today was a very successful day for Australian Border Force. We've impeded the importation of approximately 4.8 kilos of cocaine into Sydney Airport.
Sydney International Airport, Australian Border Force officers have stopped a passenger arriving home from Vietnam with her 4 children. They have concerns after an initial swab test of some food she is carrying returned a positive result for the prohibited substance ephedrine.
So what we'll do, so we're going to have a look and make sure that everything is okay. I also want to have a look inside the other bags too.
Ephedrine is a precursor used in the manufacture of drugs such as ice, and officers need to carry out a full baggage search to determine what may have caused the reading.
This one, your cosmetics, body wash.
Oh, yeah.
Officer Rhonda continues to search her belongings, while Supervising Officer Jeremy has a few questions for the passenger.
Right, we might have to open up some of these. Okay, because we've had those drug readings, we kind of need to go through some of your belongings to find out if that was a false reading or if you're actually carrying drugs with you today. Okay, so we're gonna have a look in to make sure it is what it is. So this is coffee. Coffee.
They say tea.
Tea in this one.
Packaged food will be opened and inspected, and while an X-ray of her empty suitcase gets the all clear, officers are most concerned about 3 sealed bottles of hair products that the woman is carrying. She claims she is bringing them back into the country for a friend. Officers' suspicions are raised even further when an inconsistency is detected on the X-ray image.
Look at that one there. Look at that. Small. It's not consistent with liquid. Yeah.
Officer Jeremy immediately opens the bottle to check its contents.
If you can just have a look in there, there's a small plastic package, and my suspicion is that is drugs.
In Sydney, an American has been taken aside for a formal interview as records indicate he overstayed his last trip by 2 years.
So you told me that you were here on holidays, is that correct?
Absolutely. To have a holiday and relax and get away from school and work. A holiday.
But officers are concerned about the man's ability to finance his short stay.
You don't carry any cash, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
He claims he'll be using credit to fund his trip.
So how much you have on your credit card?
I have about 1,000 on one, 1,000 on the other.
So that's with 2,000.
2,000 altogether.
So now that you are coming back, where are you going to stay?
I'm going to be staying with Stephen in Surrey Hills.
How do you know Stephen?
I know Stephen from when I lived here before. He worked at a restaurant that I frequented.
His story will need to be verified, but he still needs to explain why he overstayed for 2 years on his last trip.
I met someone and I thought we were in love. So in wooing that person, I continued to stay here past my visa.
It's a serious breach of his previous visa conditions. And Officer Yor needs to consult with Supervising Officer Ross.
He is saying that he's a self-employed taxi driver. He said he earns about 800 to 900 per week.
In today's economic world, it's quite a substantial income.
Yeah.
When the baggage search was done, you did a money count?
Money? I asked, he doesn't carry cash.
Yeah.
He said that he have 2 credit cards and he have $2,000 on the credit cards.
So he's got no cash at all?
No, I said no, there's no cash.
But none at all?
No cash yet.
Not even a dollar?
He said no cash.
I have concerns about this man's credibility. We may have a repeat of his previous immigration history because he is a former 2-year overstayer and he's claiming to you to earn $800 to $900 a week. But he's arrived with no money.
Yeah, that's what he said.
That's odd. He doesn't have a ZAC on him. Nothing. While
searching the luggage of a woman returning from Vietnam with her 4 children, Border Force officers have spotted anomalies in an X-ray image of some hair products she claims she is carrying back into the country for a friend.
That one's standing up, is it?
Look at that one there. Look at that. It's gold.
Yeah. It's not consistent with liquid.
Yeah.
Believing the bottle contains more than shampoo, Officer Jeremy opens it and his suspicions are confirmed.
This is actually got something in it. So when we've x-rayed this, it's actually come back pretty consistent. However, when I've squeezed this, it's like a solid brick. So straight away that led me to believe that there's something in it. And if you can just have a look in there, there's a small plastic package. So we're obviously going to have to test that, and my suspicion is that is drugs and probably ephedrine.
Importing prohibited goods into the country is a serious offence, and officers step up the investigation.
I want you to listen to me very carefully now, okay? I'm going to caution you, okay? You do not have to say or do anything, but anything that you do say or do will be recorded and may be used as evidence. Basically, what's happened is I've x-rayed this item and there's a package inside there, okay? It's not shampoo. Okay, when I've squeezed this, it doesn't feel like shampoo, and when I've x-rayed it, there's a big package in there. Do you know what that is?
No, I don't know.
You don't know what it is? Okay, we're gonna move into a room now, okay? So we'll pack all your gear up.
Organise that, okay.
It appears this woman may be attempting to carry narcotics into the country, and her situation is about to take a dramatic turn for the worse. At Australia's international mail centres, thousands of packages from around the world are inspected every day in an attempt to stop potential biosecurity threats from entering the country.
We got a label here that says, "Hey mate, got some poo for you."
Something brown in there, and yep, definitely looks like feces. We've got to get rid of it.
Some people go to great lengths to hide prohibited items,
Bit lumpy. Lumpy for a book.
using clever concealments to avoid detection.
Well, what is that? Got some seeds. Quite an interesting name for a book to be used for smuggling of seeds.
And the contents of some packages are highly restricted.
Nice bit of ham.
A bit of ham, complete with hoof. You don't see that every day, David?
No.
Oh, yeah.
To help identify possible biosecurity risks, officers rely on detector dogs.
Good girl. Good job. Good
And
girl.
today in Sydney, detector dog Zandy has reacted to this parcel sent from Ghana in Africa. So the box is taken for further inspection.
Something in... Medicine. That could be anything, couldn't it? All right, we'll have a look.
As the first bag is opened, officers are immediately concerned about the contents.
A lot of plant material. Oh, God. Bark. Here it's all soiled. That's pretty mouldy, isn't it? It hasn't been dried properly.
Bark is a prohibited import into Australia as it can carry foreign pests and contaminants that could pose a major threat to our environment and agriculture.
I don't know why they would be sending this, but because it's still wet, there could be moulds in it, mould spores, other plant diseases, insects, also viruses, all sorts of things.
The box also contains the empty shells of giant African snails, as well as cuttlefish. And Officer Phil believes he knows what the unusual collection is for.
Probably used in some sort of herbal medicine, ground up, or could actually be used in a religious ceremony. Okay.
But as the next package is opened, officers make a particularly gruesome discovery.
It smells. What is this?
I've x-rayed this item and there's a package inside there, okay? It's not shampoo.
Australian Border Force officers have cautioned this female passenger after they located what they suspect may be an illegal substance concealed in her luggage.
As we've gone through her items and swabbed her items, we've had positive readings for drugs. And from that, we've just sort of narrowed down her luggage to these 2 bottles here. We're not completely satisfied that there may not be more, but we definitely know that these 2 bottles here have packages in them containing ephedrine or a narcotic.
The woman will be questioned further using an interpreter, while in the testing room, officers have found another concealment.
So inside we've got a body wash and looks like there's a dense item underneath it, possibly a plastic bag concealing some kind of other product. It's a little bit hard to tell, so we're going to have to try to get something out to test it.
And it doesn't end there.
With this bottle of what appears to be some sort of hair cream, when I use the rod, it only takes me down to that far. So I feel that there's a package underneath here of some kind, so I'm going to have to empty a little bit of this out. I think this cream looks like what it should be, but my concern is what's underneath here, so I'm going to have to empty it out.
As the container is emptied, it's immediately obvious that it's only half full of hair cream.
Okay, what appears that we've got here is there's some sort of substance down here, and it's been placed in this container and it's been wrapped in a plastic bag. I think what the person or the people have hoped to achieve is remove the contents of the bottle, jar, put the substance that's in this plastic bag, put the cream on top of it, hoping that maybe if customers were to look at it, we just open it up, have a look to make sure the consistency is the same and release it.
The plastic is opened and reveals an off-white powder which Officer Kathy strongly suspects is more illegal drugs.
See that? It seems to be like a creamy coloured. So what I have to do now is try and extract an amount from this substance to test in our technology.
First Defender laser technology will identify exactly what the powder is, while in the interview room, the passenger still insists she had no idea it was in her luggage. An American who, on a previous trip to Australia, overstayed by 2 years, says he's back for a short holiday. However, he's arrived with no money.
No cash yet.
Not even $1.
Yeah, that's what he
That's
said,
odd.
yeah.
Officers need to be sure that the man abides by his tourist visa, which has a no work condition and has a limited duration of stay.
So what can you show to us that you're going back within the 3 weeks?
First of all, I have a very good job at this time. I also am still a registered student. So without a doubt, I'm leaving here.
You mentioned it to me that you are so studying. So what are you doing?
Computer information system specialist, basically software.
And how long have you been studying for?
I would say about 3 years now.
If this claim is true, it would indicate that the man has commitments back home to return to.
We need for him to demonstrate that he is in fact a genuine student.
You have a student ID card.
Yeah.
And in terms of
Can I have a look at that ID card? Does this have an expiry date?
And there's an expiry date there. And
yeah,
I
so
said
that's
that one
expired. So how's he identifying himself as a legitimate student with a card that is, in fact, 2 years out of date? I'm not satisfied that he is, in fact, a student.
Concerned that he's not telling the whole truth, Officer Yaw confronts the passenger with his findings.
I don't know what it is you have against me that you think I'm lying to you. I don't have a reason to lie to you. No. I'm here for a vacation. I'm here for 3 weeks. You don't want me here. You've gone through all my business. You know more than me than a lot of people know about me, and that is none of their business.
What we're doing here is assessing whether he will, in fact, demonstrate that he will abide by the conditions that are applied to his visa. And given his past history, and certainly some of the information given today, I've got my doubts.
I've done what I can do for you, so put me back on a plane, let me go home, because I'm about my vacation is turning out to be a headache and not fun.
At the International Mail Centre, biosecurity officers are inspecting a box sent from Ghana in Africa. Declared as medicine, it contains a wide variety of prohibited goods.
Cotton and a feather of some sort?
Yeah, there was a bit of animal hair there.
Yeah.
Officers suspect the contents are intended for use in traditional medicine or some sort of ritual.
All right, that has a little piece of bone in it. Could be used to grind up to make medicine, or could be used in a ceremony.
And then they make a particularly gruesome discovery.
Oh, it smells.
What is this? Look at that, that's a chameleon. A whole chameleon, dried chameleon.
Got snakes?
There are several species of dried reptiles, but that's not all.
Look at this.
Oh, a bird head?
A bird head.
There's the beak.
Yeah, it's like an eagle or something like that. What's this?
Officers are immediately concerned about the condition of the bird's head.
Yeah, head of a raptor. There will be flesh inside the neck bone. There'll be skin under the feathers because the feathers are all attached. So it could bring bird diseases. It could have insect infestations, diseases. So it's definitely out. It needs to be destroyed.
None of the high-risk animal or plant material in the box can be allowed to enter the country. So all the items are seized and will be destroyed. Australian Border Force officers are concerned that this American man may overstay his tourist visa if he's allowed to enter the country. He says he's here for a short holiday and that he has every intention of returning to the USA to continue working.
I'm coming to visit a friend. That's it. Nothing else. I'm not staying. I have obligations at home.
So what do you do in US?
I'm an independent contractor. I drive for Yellow Cab, taxi cab company.
And while driving the car, how much do you earn?
While driving the cab, how much do I earn? I would say anywhere from 800 to 900 a week.
So how many days do you work per week?
3 to 4 days. I work from 6 in the evening till 6 in the morning.
So you work in the night, so you do a night shift.
So I can go to school during the day. That's the way it works.
But officers still have doubts about his story, as his student ID expired 2 years ago.
Stickers that you go and you get put on there, and you have to go back every year to get a new one. I stopped going back to get it, but I am registered and I am still in school. I can prove that it's valid by going to online.
And it's possible to show that you are still enrolled into the school?
Yeah.
Officer Yor escorts him to a computer to check his enrolment online. But what the passenger is unaware of is that Supervisor Ross is already calling the man's employer in the US.
Are you able to give me confirmation of whether this guy actually works for you or not?
Australian Border Force officers have discovered a suspicious white powder concealed in hair products in the luggage of a woman returning with her 4 children from Vietnam. A sample of the powder is taken for testing, but there are several factors indicating that this is a sophisticated operation.
When we get concealments like this, we're really interested in how they get the product in there. And because this is so compact, we couldn't see any evidence of tampering in the top. We just paid a little bit closer attention to the bottom. And it looks like they've actually cut the bottom out and put a false bottom in. So the bottom there is all soft, where they've heated it up and remoulded it. The same thing happened with the body gel. You can see where they've split the bottom open, resealed it up. This is definitely isn't a backyard job. This isn't someone done at home. This is like a factory style concealment. So they're probably doing multiple jobs like this.
Using First Defender laser technology, Officer Kathy has identified the substance.
I've come back with what appears to be a presumptive positive for pseudoephedrine.
Ephedrine is an illegal import into Australia as it's used to manufacture narcotics such as ice. Officer Kathy carries out a secondary test. If the liquid turns purple, it's a positive result.
So I pretty much say that everything in the shampoo bottles would be pseudoephedrine or ephedrine.
Before he can enter the country, an American man, claiming to be here for just a short holiday, needs to prove that he has commitments back home to return to. While Officer Ross is checking his employment status...
Are you able to give me confirmation of whether this guy actually works for you or not?
Officer Yor is confirming his current enrolment as a student.
You can see that I was enrolled in class and still am enrolled in class. These are my grades.
This semester?
This semester. I'm pretty good, huh?
You're very good.
Thank you.
His story checks out, and so do his finances, which are adequate for his short stay.
This one and this one combined is about $2,000.
Okay.
Officer Ross also gets positive confirmation about the man's ongoing employment.
You've satisfied my inquiry, Christine. I have had a conversation with your employer, and they are expecting you back to go to work.
I hope so. I still have a job, I hope, when I get back.
In essence, what we have done today for you is a happy outcome, and we welcome you to our wonderful city, and I hope you enjoy it once again.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I'm satisfied that he's a genuine visitor for tourism and to meet his friend on shore.